Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rated C podcast. This is your host, Cristopher Zamora. So today, I want to speak to you about this movie. It's just been on my mind for over a week already, and it's called Skinamarink. I wasn't expecting much from this movie. From what I got from the trailers, it looked very intriguing. I'm going to tell you what the summary of the movie is. So look, it says right here, two children wake up in the middle of the night to find their father is missing and all the windows and doors in their home have vanished. Doesn't that intrigue you? Because when I saw the movie, the first 20 minutes, it seemed very interesting. And probably not many people did not enjoy this movie because of the angles. Not many people will probably enjoy this movie because of that. In this movie, they don't really show the actual faces of the children nor of the parents. And what I found interesting about this movie is that it kind of did remind me of Paranormal Activity mixed with the Blair Witch Project. If you have seen those movies, then you actually get Skinamarink. That's your baby right there, Skinamarink. But yes, Skinamarink, it's an interesting movie. This demon actually comes and visits the children. Like I said, you don't really get to see the children at all. But like this demon, he just doesn't leave them alone at all. And he picks on them one by one. And probably the scariest part of this movie was probably when the sister, she's the oldest, she actually got to see her parents in the bedroom. And the part where the father was telling her to look down under the bed, dude. Ooh. Oh man. Probably that was the scariest part. And also when this phone actually rang, it just rang super loud and it just scared me. Oh, and by the way, I watched this movie when it was around 12 or 1 in the morning. Yeah, I do not recommend to do that. But yeah, I did that. And by the end of the movie, I think the demon, it said, go to sleep. And that was creepy because I was watching this movie very late at night and I was getting kind of tired. So it was like the demon was talking to me. It's kind of creepy, man. Yeah, it was very interesting, this movie. I gotta give it to them. All the angles and the color grading they used in this movie, they did a pretty good job, man. And I do understand why people do not like it, because they might say that this movie is like very super slow and not much happen. Like you only see static shots most of the time. That's what they say, which is kind of true, but you have to pay attention of what's going on in the movie. And yeah, man, I gotta give it to them. I do enjoy this movie. Man, it just really sucks what happened to the kid. Oh, man. It's the demon, man. The demon didn't want to leave the kids alone. But it was such an awesome movie. And probably I might give it another try. Pretty good one. It's going to be available in Shudder, I think, on the beginning of February. So if you guys want to go see it, then get Shudder. Or you can go watch it in the movies. Yeah, man. So it's a pretty decent movie. I actually do give this movie a 6 out of 10. I think that's fair enough for this movie. I did not enjoyed it like any other horror movie, like Smile, for example. because I do understand that there were some parts that they were pretty slow, and that I feel like probably this movie they should have just cut it shorter. It should have been probably like an hour and 15 minutes or an hour and 30. It was kind of around that time. No, but it should have been like an hour and 15 about so. Again, it was okay for me, but I do understand why people do not like it. It's not for everyone, to be honest. And now, what I do want to talk to you about is the release of the remake of Dead Space. If you guys have ever played Dead Space, the one that came out in 2008, and if you're a hardcore fan of that one, you were probably waiting for that game to come out since forever. And now that game is officially out. And I like what I see from that game. It looks fantastic. The graphics are so enhanced. And like they actually added voice for the character this time. They actually have Isaac Clarke has a voice. They did not have that for the original one. And that's a good thing that they added something new. And like in this one as well, they say that you can actually just travel around the whole Ishimura ship, like everywhere. It's like probably like open world. And that's cool because on the other game, the original one, you weren't allowed to do that at all, which is pretty cool. And they actually added something new that you might actually like. And the monsters, the necromorphs, they just look even scarier, and the sound effects they make. Oof. Yeah, it's pretty neat, man. It's pretty awesome. IGN gave this game a 9 out of 10. A 9 out of 10 is pretty good. It's very good. Not many games get that. But as for me, I did not get this game because I feel like I can wait for it to be on sale. And plus, it costs $70 on the PlayStation 5, which I hate, man. All the PlayStation 5 games now, they cost about $70 to get them. They added $10 more. $60 wasn't enough. Yeah, man, it's just, it is what it is. Probably they're actually gonna remake Dead Space 2 as well, since this game is doing good numbers. Yeah, man. I only have played the first and second game, but I've never actually got the chance to play the third one. But I have heard that the third one was the least favorite one from the franchise. I think it's because they added multiplayer mode and people weren't really a fan of it. And also the horror. The horror in this game was mostly gone, and I think that's why fans did not like this game as much as the previous two. Which I do get because it kind of did happen in the same way for the Resident Evil franchise. Like I mentioned before, I like Resident Evil 6, but not many people who were hardcore fans of that franchise didn't like it. Same thing happened with Dead Space with the third game. Yeah, man. Dead Space 1, I remember it was very scary. First time I actually saw it was when my cousin was playing it on his Xbox 360. I was just looking at him playing the game, and there was just one part that just came out. The necromorph just came out. Oof, very scary part. Maybe I'll wait for it probably like in 6 months or so for the game to be on sale. Maybe when it's at half price, I'll probably get it. Or probably I'll get it on Black Friday. But the actual game that I'm waiting for to get is Hogwarts Legacy. Before there was The Last of Us one, I actually liked Harry Potter more than any other franchise. I had played Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, the one that came out on the old Xbox. I have actually played the Sorcerer's Stone as well. I don't remember much of the Sorcerer's Stone, but the Prisoner of Azkaban, that one is in my head. Yeah, I remember detail by detail. I enjoyed the heck out of that game when I was younger. Man, it was such a fun experience. And I gotta say, the third movie, The Prisoner of Azkaban, as well. That's my favorite one from the franchise. That's when the franchise actually took a huge turn. The first two movies, they were a little bit not scary. Like it seemed they had the same type of music that they were using in the Lord of the Rings. I'm not throwing shade at the Lord of the Rings, but yeah, they're kind of similar in a way of the music that they were putting. But on the third one, that's when things took a turn, and it seemed like it was kind of like a horror movie in a way. My favorite scene from that movie was probably the Quidditch scene when it was raining. That scene, man, it was just so fantastic. The crowd was just cheering for their houses to win. It was Hufflepuff versus Gryffindor. Harry, as you guys might know, he's the seeker. He's the one who gets the snitch. If they get the snitch, they win the game. Yeah, man, it was just so fantastic watching that scene. And I watched it when it was in theaters. I remember that scene so very vividly. So cool, man. When he went all the way up to the sky, that's when the mentors they went and tried to get him. And once they got him, he started falling. He started falling from his broom to the ground. And he was about to hit the grass, but then Dumbledore saved him. And then he woke up in the hospital bed. Yeah, man, it's such a fantastic movie and also a fantastic game. That's why I'm actually waiting for Hogwarts Legacy. That's the game I'm most excited about for this year. I think it was supposed to come out last year, but then they had to push it back a little bit more. And I do give credit to the developers because it's better for them to take time on a video game than to actually rush it. We got to see that with Cyberpunk. That game came out in 2020, and supposedly that was one of the worst releases for a game. Not many people did not enjoy that. And it had Keanu Reeves, one of the biggest Hollywood actors maybe of all time. He came out on that game and it just didn't do so well because the game wasn't finished at all. There were still bugs, and in the world, it just seemed like it was empty, and it just seemed it wasn't that intriguing. I actually got in the game a year later, but I haven't gotten the time to play it again. But when I played it, I did enjoy it. But some parts are very hard though. It seems very difficult. And I don't even know if it doesn't even let me change the difficulty mode to easy. Cause I put it in normal mode, I remember. I'll probably come back to it sooner or later. And there was this other game called Forspoken. Man, I was looking forward to playing this video game, and it just didn't do so well. IGN gave this game a 6 out of 10, which in gaming reviews, that's kind of very low. And yeah, man, it sucks, but it is what it is. Not every single game that you're looking forward to is gonna do so well. Or maybe they just giving it a bad review just because. Don't get me wrong, IGN has gotten a few games wrong. Like, for example, Alien Isolation, one of the other few games that I enjoyed playing when I had an Xbox One. That game got, I think, a 5 out of 10. Dude, really? A 5 out of 10 for that game. I think that game should have gotten a little bit higher. It should have gotten at least an 8 out of 10. It's scary, man. It's a scary game. I know that you're limited to doing stuff on that game because of the alien is chasing you and you have to hide. But that was the point. That was the point of the game. That's how it is in the movies as well. Ellen Ripley is trying to hide from the alien. But by the ending of the movie, she has a chance to fight it. I think in this game, they just did it so cool, man. Rhea Ripley, it's Ellen Ripley's daughter. In this video game, it took place probably years later after the movies finished for the Alien franchise. I'm thinking probably Alien Resurrection. It was the last one where Sigourney Weaver came out for the Alien franchise. That's how they followed that video game storyline. Yeah, man, that game, it was scary, and I wish they make another one similar like that, a first person mode, but with today's graphics. Today's graphics, they just make any game look very good. But graphics is not the only thing that makes a video game good. It also depends on the gameplay as well. This is a hot take I'm going to tell you, but Death Stranding. Death Stranding, it had a very good story. I mean, it's an okay story. I did not enjoy it that much because of the gameplay. The gameplay kind of ruined it for me. I don't know why, but it seems like Hideo Kojima's games, the gameplay, it's just, I don't know, something's missing. Something's really missing. Metal Gear Rising, I think, is the only game that it seems like it fit in. It fit very well with his style of story. But like the rest, man, it feels like something is always missing from those games. He's the one who made the Metal Gear Solid games. I do enjoy Metal Gear Solid 3 and MGS4, Guns of the Patriots. Those games are fantastic, but I just don't like the gameplay. The gameplay is just missing something. I don't know what it is, but yeah, man. Those games are fantastic. And we're getting a Death Stranding too. Here's my guess for when the game is going to be released. I'm thinking that this game is going to come out on November 2025. That's my prediction when the game is coming out. We got a trailer for Death Stranding when it was during the Video Game Awards, and it looked very cool. And there's already people online speculating of what's this game is going to be about. And I don't think many people were expecting to see another Death Stranding game. I didn't either. It seemed like a very perfect ending for Death Stranding. That kind of did rhyme. Yeah, that kind of did rhyme, didn't it? Yeah, like the ending for that game, it just seemed like there wasn't going to be another game, and that was it. But no, man, Hideo Kojima has another plan, has another great story in his pocket, and he wants to share it to the world. I gotta give it to him, man. The trailer for Death Stranding, the official launch trailer for Death Stranding, I come back to it from time to time because it just seems so awesome. It just seems so cool. Yeah, man, I do remember watching that trailer when it was during my lunchtime at work. I remember watching that trailer and I was so amazed. I was so amazed watching that. It just seems so interesting. Now that I think about it, I give this game probably I'm thinking probably an 8 out of 10. I think that's right. An 8 out of 10. Definitely not a 9 or a 10 because it actually does takes time for the story to move forward. And it was kind of getting a little bit boring. The character you play as, Sam, he's the delivery person. He delivers mail, and the reason why he does that is to connect people with each other. Is to keep that the connection with each other supposedly. And then things start happening, like with the BTs, the ghosts, and you have this baby with you at all times. It's an interesting game. I feel like this video game should have been a movie, man. I think it would have made a ton of money. I'm talking about Avatar money. Maybe like $1 billion, dude. The story was good. It was good. But the gameplay is just the thing that ruined it for me again. Yeah, man. And I haven't played the game ever since because the story's so long, man. And I just don't have that time to play video games like that anymore, man. Yeah, it's kind of does sucks because now with you being an adult, you have responsibilities, you have things that you need to do, and you don't have time to play video games as much anymore. Yeah, man. I think the game, like I said, Hogwarts Legacy, probably that's gonna be my last open world game that I'm gonna play for a while. I cannot do open world games anymore, man. Open world games, they just take a long time to complete. I remember I played Red Dead Redemption 2. That's one of the coolest games I've ever played. I remember getting it for Christmas because I asked for that game. Yeah, man, that game was just so awesome. Remember playing it during Christmas time. Wow, such an amazing experience. And I have to put that game in probably in my favorite games of all time, in my top 10 favorite games of all time. It's up there, man. It's up there as one of the greats for me. But Hogwarts Legacy, please don't let me down, man. Please do not let me down. This game, a lot of fans from the books and the movies have been waiting for this game for a long time. I think they announced this game in 2019 or 2020. It's been a while. It's been a while since they announced this game. And I was just so amazed when they announced the trailer for this game, man. And they actually showed a presentation of what you're gonna do in this game. And I was just invested. Just like that, man. Super cool. And I just wish this game it does good and it just succeeds. Because if it doesn't, man, I'll be very sad. I think the house I'm going to choose probably will be Ravenclaw. Since my favorite color is blue, that's going to be my house. Yeah, I'm going to choose Ravenclaw. We've seen a lot from Gryffindor, but I think my next option I would choose is Ravenclaw. Ravenclaw's house, it just seems pretty cool. Or all the houses they have for the video game, it just seems they took their time for this game. It just seems like the creators for this game, it seemed like they were very passionate to make it as well. You know, I saw the collector's edition for the Hogwarts Legacy. Guys, I was very disappointed. I was very disappointed, and I wish they should have done something else. Jesus, that was very disappointing. Yeah, and it actually cost $300 for the whole thing. So like, you get a steelbook case with the video game, and you also get like 3 or 4 things for the DLC pack, the deluxe edition, and you also get the book, which includes the levitating wand and stuff. It seems cool, but you cannot even turn the pages for that. There's not much, and you get the box. That's it. The box includes everything that I just mentioned just now. That's it. Yeah, man, I was very disappointed. And I just really saw it yesterday because I was just seeing like other YouTubers talk about Hogwarts Legacy, how they're excited for it. And man, dude, I am still excited for this video game, but I'm just very disappointed with the collector's edition. Come on, Warner Brothers. You should have done better. Oh, man. It was very disappointing. They should have probably added something more unique. This game would have been the only video game I would have gotten the collector's edition for. I was thinking of getting the collector's edition for part 2 of The Last of Us, but the good thing I didn't, because I just did not like how that turned out. If you know, you know. On the previous podcast, I mentioned my opinion for that video game, and probably I'm not going to mention it in this one, hopefully. Speaking of The Last of Us, we got episode 2 already for this week. If you guys are listening to this podcast, you're probably on episode 3, but I'm actually recording this podcast just a day before episode 3 comes out, so it's on a Saturday. Episode 2, it was fantastic, dude. Wow. They actually did so well with this episode. Dude, the scenery is just similar to the video game. Wow, I was so amazed, dude. I was so proud. I was just so proud how this show is just keeps getting better and better. And we actually got to see the clickers in this TV show. Dude, they're scary. It's like you're experiencing something new. And damn, man, it's just so fantastic seeing this show. Hopefully it keeps getting better. But the one thing I'll probably say that I just didn't like, it was in the video game on part 1, Joel actually gets separated from Ellie and Tess. And I wish they did that as well for the TV show. I think that was a very important scene because it just lets Ellie know that Joel cares about them a lot. But maybe just they're doing it a little bit differently because they just don't want to repeat themselves. It's not a copy and paste they're doing. And the part, I'm going to go on a few spoilers for episode 2. So be warned, guys, be warned. And for episode 2, the part where Tess, she revealed that she got bitten by the zombie, it was kind of different in the TV show. The way that Joel reacted on the TV show was a little bit different how he reacted to in the video game. And I think so because, I don't know, this Joel from the TV show, it just seems like he doesn't care as much about anything. He doesn't care about anybody or anyone. But like in the video game, he actually did care about Tess in a way. But like in this one, he just ran away from Tess and then got Ellie just like that. And also in the Capitol building, it was very different as well. In the video game, the federal group, the what's left of the government, I think they came in and actually shot Tess, and they were looking for Joel and Ellie. And you actually got to see the people that they killed. But in the TV show, it was very different because instead of the police people that came in on the Capitol building, it was the zombies instead. And that was very interesting. I wasn't expecting that at all. And also the part where the zombie kissed Tess, yeah, kind of weird too. It was very weird scene. And by the end of that scene, Tess exploded that place. And Ellie and Joel, they left. They finally left that place. And on the next episode, we're going to get to see Bill. And we're going to get to see his town as well. I wonder how they're going to do this one next. It just seems like they are following everything from part 1. From The Last of Us part 1 on season 1. I said 1 so many times, sorry. It's good that they're actually following the events from the game and not changing it as much. It's very good that they're doing that. And hopefully they keep it the same way. And they add new stuff as well, which they kind of did in this episode as well. The zombies, they seem a little bit different on the TV show. I didn't remember on the video game that the zombies, they did not communicate with each other as much. Like if one dies, then the rest come in. That did not really happen, or they did not mention that on the video game. It's the cordyceps is what they mentioned. It's that like the virus that they mentioned in the TV show. Oh, and we also got another cool scene from episode 2. In the beginning scene as well, it showed a prequel of what was going to happen next. Ooh, man. That speech that lady gave, it gave me chills. It gave me chills because the officer asked her, what should they do? Is there a cure? And then she said, no, there's no cure. You need to bomb the city and get out. Damn, man. Whew. Yeah, man, it's cool that they're actually doing those little prequels in the beginning of the show. Because eventually they're going to get to where they are. And it just seems pretty cool, man. And I like that they're doing that. And also the actors who are playing Joe and Ellie. It seems like they're doing pretty good playing these characters. I don't see anything going wrong for these characters. It's legit, man. It's very legit how this TV show is turning out. Oh, and it also has said that they're going to make a season 2. It is renewed. This show is renewed for season 2. And for the people who are listening and have not played the video games, you guys will be in for a huge surprise for season 2. Like I said, I'm not going to mention it because I have mentioned it already in the past episode. You can go listen to it. But yeah, man. It's going to be a bumpy ride for season 2. And I think that is it for this podcast. Hey, thank you so much for listening. If you made it this far, make sure to subscribe to wherever you're listening to this podcast. If you're listening to it on Spotify, on iHeartRadio, or anywhere else, make sure to follow it, subscribe to it, leave a review if you guys are enjoying the podcast as well. And yeah, man, that is it. Thank you so much for listening, guys. And I'll see you guys on the next one. As always, take care and live to the fullest. Bye now. Bye.